Alright, so the Xenoverse 2 roster has honestly gotten pretty damn big throughout the years of all the DLC characters. So actually, there's been 33 DLC characters through the, 13 DLCs we've had released up until this point in time. That's almost an average of 3 DLC characters per DLC added into this game, on top of the base roster, which was actually pretty large. Like, I didn't do a full count on the base roster, but if I had to guess, it'd be anywhere from 80 to 100 in total characters, which means right now in Xenoverse 2, we're sitting somewhere around like 110, 120 or so characters in this game. It may very well be one of the biggest rosters ever, if not the biggest roster ever, for a Dragon Ball Z game that has been playable on console. We're not talking about mobile games because obviously they have characters out the wazoo. Like the amount of characters in those games is absolutely ridiculous. But in terms of actual true Dragon Ball games, this definitely has the biggest roster, or if not one of the biggest rosters ever to be assembled. But with that being said, what characters are actually missing from this roster at the same time? What characters could still be added if they did do a Xenoverse 3, which I fully do believe they will at some point in time as well? That's what we're going to be covering in today's video, so I hope you guys are ready for it. Let's jump into it. Alright y'all, so like I said, we're going to be talking about some of the missing characters from Xenoverse 2 that could be added in to a Xenoverse 3 if and when that game does happen, or in future DLC for this game, because we still do know that at the very least we are getting a DLC 15, and people do question what kind of characters could actually be added for that DLC. Now on this notepad in front of me, I have a list of 22 characters that actually could be added into this game still up to this point, and there still may be some that I'm actually missing as well. Now there is a 23rd character, but that is a character that can just open up a floodgate to so many different possibilities. We'll talk about that character at the very end of this video. Now I did put out a tweet on Twitter asking you guys what characters you are missing from Xenoverse 2 personally and you would like to see added at some point in time. And I did get some of the ideas or some of the characters on this list from that tweet right there. So let's jump into this, man, and shout out to everybody who did reply to that tweet. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is always down below in the description. Now the first character on this list, guys, is Rage Trunks. He was the first character that popped into my mind because it was just so egregious, so terrible of them not to add this character in when you literally had the model. You had the model of this character, you had him in the story mode, and you didn't make him a real character? But you still gave Trunks new presets with the Goku Black DLC? How does that even work? Like, how the hell could y'all not have added this character in when he was honestly a fan favorite? Like, people love Trunks regardless, right? But then when we saw that rage form, honestly, the rage form was damn clean. I mean, the white eyes, that's always something that looks dope on Dragon Ball Z characters. Like when Goku had his false Super Saiyan, that shit was absolute heat. Same thing for Rage Trunks. And then the way the aura was, how he had like the blue, it almost looked like some God key going around him, but then he had the yellow Super Saiyan shit going at the same time. It was absolutely gas, without a doubt. So Rage Trunks, in my opinion, is the most egregious of all these characters on the list, along with Merge Zamasu or Corrupted Merge Zamasu at the same time, because that's another character that you guys implemented into the story, and then eventually, yes, made playable in Crystal Raid battles, but we still can't use the character on a regular basis. That does not make any sense to me at all either. So those are the first two characters that I want to start this list off with. The next one is following up on that whole Crystal Raid thing, and that is the full form or final perfect form Mirror, whatever the hell he's called, and Demigirl. Two other characters that were added in as Crystal Raid options, but not as actual playable options. Why? Why would you do that? These aren't characters that are like giant great apes. Like, I could understand if you did something with Crystal Raids where you added in playable giant great apes. Actually, that's a pretty damn fire idea. I'm not gonna lie to you. That just came to my mind out of nowhere. That would be pretty damn sick. Let me know about that down below in the comments. If you could play a great ape in the Crystal Raid boss battle, that would be pretty sick. Not gonna lie to y'all. Again, let me know what you think about that down below. But these aren't characters like that. So why did you not just add them in as regular playable characters? So those are the next two characters that I had on this list. Next up after that is Sangya from the BoJack movie. This is probably, I mean, definitely the favorite of all of BoJack's minions. Obviously, there's some, a little bit of weeb purposes in why people like her so much at the same time, but I do feel she had one of the more significant roles in the movie as well, so I would have definitely loved to see this character added in. Next up on the list is Hachiyak. Some people may not even know who Hachiyak is, because this was a movie that was not originally released in America, and until like Raging Blast 2 came out, a lot of people had no idea who Hachiyak was. I knew of Hachiyak because I did like to play some of the Japanese-based old school Dragon Ball games, and he was the boss of one of them. Like, there was a whole game for the Super Nintendo, or Super Famicom, I guess you could say, because that was the Japanese version, and it was all based around the Dragon Ball Z Eradicate the Saiyans movie. So I did know about this character before Raging Blast 2, it's just when Raging Blast 2 came out, I finally got a chance to actually see the movie for myself, which a lot of people also did, and got to experience the character at the same time for the very first time, and I believe the last time in any Dragon Ball game ever. Why not bring the man's back? You brought back all the other movie villains except my man's Hachiyak. Like, why? That's another character that I would definitely love to see added into this roster. Next up, we have the one and only God of Destruction that I would like to see added, and that is my man's Liquor. Liquor, the only reason I say him is because, one, his design is dope. I like the tailed fox idea. Like, it just reminds me of Naruto, and man's looks swagged out as well, especially compared to the other two God of Destructions that we actually saw fight in the Tournament of Power. Like, as the warm-up thing, I mean, one of them looked like a goddamn cockroach and the other looked like a Furby. So both of those two characters I really don't care for too much. The only one, again, that I would really want from that is the man's Liquor, who just looked absolutely dope, and I think he would have been a really cool character to use in Xenoverse 2 as well. Now, moving on. Next up on this list, I do have my man Shallot. The reason I say Shallot is a missing character, he's not someone that's like missing from the actual like canon Dragon Ball Z or any movies or anything like that, but Legends is a game made by Dimps. Xenoverse 2 is a game made by Dimps. Why the hell has Shallot not been added into this game yet? Hello? Think about it. Like, why? That's really all it comes down to for my man Shallot. Like, he would be dope to see in this game, and I think a lot of people would really like to see him in the game at the same time. And again, Dimps is the maker of both of those games, so why not add this man in? I'm just saying. Now, moving on, next up, I do have one that is a bit controversial, and that is Kid Goku, guys. Kid Goku, the reason he's controversial, because he doesn't technically fly. He doesn't really learn to fly, I believe, until, like, the final couple arcs where he's actually, like, Teen Goku, I guess you could say. So that's a character that I would love to see implemented in some way, shape, or form. And if you can give Hercule a jetpack and figure out a way to get that character in the goddamn game, you can figure out a way to get my man's Kid Goku in the game at the same time. Now, the next character is a bit controversial for the same reason, and that's Master Roshi. But again, if you could make my man's Hercule fly, you can make Roshi fly, especially since you make Roshi fly in Dragon Ball Legends. Like, Roshi is in Dragon Ball Legends, and his little turtle shell has an actual jetpack in it. That's something they could have done for Xenoverse 2. I really don't care as long as I see my man's implemented in some way, shape, or form. And I know that's a character that people have wanted really since the Tournament of Power. Like, since the Tournament of Power went down, a lot of people have wanted to see Roshi in the game in some way, shape, or form. So definitely have him on the list without a doubt. Next up is Majin 21. Now, Majin 21 already has a variation, obviously, with Android 21. For all those people who are going to be like saying reskin and all things like that, it's different when a character gets an upgraded version of a form that they do not have in the game. But when they downgrade, it's kind of like, damn, you know? Like, really? Y'all just downgraded the character? But Majin 21, in my opinion, is a character that would be really dope to see. And I hope if and when Xenoverse 3 does happen, they make her into one full character where you can go, like, you have Android 21 and you can go into the Majin 21 form or just something along those lines. Because, again, she would be really dope to see in Xenoverse 2 without a doubt. Now, the next character I have up on this list falls into the same regard, and that is Super Android 13. Super Android 13 is a character that I've seen people talk about literally since Android 13 came out, and even before that. Like, before Android 13 came out, people were talking about this man because of all the movie characters that were added in and the movie bosses that were added in. And when Android 13 was initially announced, people were hopeful that we would be getting a Super Android 13 along with him in terms of like an Awoken or something like that. But that just never ended up to be the case. So Super Android 13 without a doubt is a fan favorite and someone that definitely deserves to be in the game. I mean, him from Android 13 is like, it's like two totally different characters in a sense. Even though he still has that Android 13 in his name, again, it's like two totally different characters without a doubt. Alright, so moving on, the next four characters on this list are all actually androids. We have Android 14, Android 15, obviously from the Android 13 movie, and then we have Android 19 and Android 20. These are characters that were in past Dragon Ball games, but were not in Xenoverse 2 at all. These are characters that I also feel would add to the story of Xenoverse 2 at the same time when it comes to 19 and 20. Now, 14 and 15 can add something with how like they implement all the movie characters in this Xenoverse 2, but again, more in 19 and 20 would add more to the story than those other two, but those other two, since 13 is in the game, definitely deserve to be in the game, if not in Xenoverse 2, in Xenoverse 3 at some point in time. Now, the next character up on this list besides that is Rildo, General Rildo. For those who are GT fans, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to this character, man. He was actually really damn cool in Dragon Ball GT, and he was a pretty damn tough fight for Goku at the same time. So I would definitely love to see this character implemented into Xenoverse in some way, shape, or form, because he is one of the staples, I feel like, in the whole baby arc. In that whole arc, he was one of the tougher battles that Goku had to deal with up until the time that he actually fought Baby. So again, definitely would love to see Rildo implemented at some point in time. Next up, we have Full Power Bojack, another character that falls into the same line as like Super Android 13. This is a version of Bojack that a lot of people do love, and a lot of people wanted to see ever since he was implemented into the game. Similar to how like when 13 was implemented in the game, so many people talked about Super Android 13 at that point in time. So many people have talked about Full Power Bojack as well. Moving on with this list though, guys, we have Demon King Piccolo and General Tao. Two characters from Dragon Ball that were just like main villains in the whole Dragon Ball series. Personally, I just want to see more Dragon Ball characters. It's one of my favorite parts of all of like Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super. Like, it is one of my favorite parts without a doubt, because I feel it's one of the better written parts out of everything in itself. Like, the actual writing for Dragon Ball, in my opinion, is so much better than a lot of like Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT. And not saying that those writings are terrible, but Dragon Ball to me just feels like the best written one in terms of how the story goes and things like that. That's just my opinion. So I definitely would love to see more representation from the Dragon Ball saga of Dragon Ball Z. Now, moving on, guys, next character we have up on this list is King Cold and King Vegeta. These are two characters that definitely could be implemented into the game, and a lot of people, even though they didn't get much time in terms of like screen time and things like that, a lot of people actually do like these characters a good amount. So having these characters implemented, I would not mind at all, and they are technically missing characters from the Xenoverse 2 roster at the same time. Now, the last character on this list, guys, is Garlic Jr. Actually, there's one more after Garlic Jr. as well, but Garlic Jr. is a character that's another movie boss. Like, this is another character that had actually two movies, or no, he had one movie and a whole filler arc in Dragon Ball Z, and we never have seen him, I don't think, since like Tenkaichi 3. Have we seen this character in the game? And again, with all the movie bosses coming back, it only would have been fitting to have this man Garlic Jr. in the game at the same time. Now, there are people who don't really like Garlic Jr. out there, but there are also people who do like the character a good amount as well. Now, the last character I do have on this list is something that I do think is possible at some point, especially since it seems like we're getting a second form Cell, and that is a second/third form Frieza. This is another character that just was like not done all the way, like just how Cell was, how he was missing a form. Frieza's actually missing multiple forms. You can even say that Frieza is missing his Mecha Frieza form at the same time, and we do have that outfit in the game, so it's kind of weird that you can't actually use that, or they didn't put that character in as well. So those are all the characters that I had on the list that were like normal, I guess you could say. The one that I said I wanted to talk about at the end of this is Xeno Goku, because that is a character, as like I said before, it just opens the floodgates to so much damn potential for Xenoverse in general. Like, once a Xeno Goku or something like that is added from Dragon Ball Heroes, bro, the amount of stuff that they could add to this game in terms of characters and content would just be off the damn charts. Imagine if Xenoverse 2 or Xenoverse in general, when the Xenoverse 3 happens, implements Dragon Ball Heroes in some way, shape, or form. The amount of characters this game could see would be endless. Like, we could literally see a Xenoverse 3 roster with like 200 damn characters in it or something like that, if they decided to open up that floodgate and go down the Dragon Ball Heroes route. So that's why I really wanted to save that character for last, because like I said, he just opens up a floodgate that is absolutely insane in terms of the amount of characters that can then follow him and be added along with him afterwards. So that is all the characters that I do have on this list. Again, this right here just shows that there are a good amount of characters still missing from Xenoverse 2, a good amount of characters that could be added in with Xenoverse 3. So for all those people who have been out there saying that, you know, with all the DLC that they add into Xenoverse 2, what are they going to have left for Xeno 3? Well, clearly based off of this list right here, you see there's still a good amount of characters that have not been implemented into this game at all, and then some versions of characters that have not been implemented to this game at the same time. So let me know what you guys think about all these characters down below in the comments, and which characters you would like to see the most, and if I missed any characters at the same time. If there's any characters that I did not mention in this video right here, let me know down below which other characters you guys would like to see as well. But as always, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, hope you have a good one. Peace, y'all.